Hello!
Oh, we're so excited to see you all. There's already 11 on?
That's
Wow.
yay!
Yay! And that's, of course, of the people who actually have accounts. I know that some people are going to be paying attention to us on Scratch because we linked a little bit. So if you're here from Scratch, hello. If you're here on YouTube, hello. If you're here somewhere else and we don't know how you got here, hi. Confusion? Can y'all hear us all right? I'm gonna assume they can.
Well, I mean, there's a bit of, but I'm sure they're able to. I see people talking in chat saying hello, hello,
Yep.
yee, ah.
All right. Well, if you aren't familiar with our voices, hi, howdy, hey, I'm PetalsSilversteam.
Ohio, I'm Ekho.
That was so cute. Oh my gosh. We are super thankful you are here today. We are authors of the Midori Magica story as a whole. We are both incredibly dedicated to this series, and we'll probably spend way too much time on this fan fiction. And we are all very thankful that we don't have face cams because I look like a turkey on a toilet. So,
Wow.
would you,
I mean, mood, but wow.
would you like to take What is Midori Magica? Would you like to?
Yeah, sure. So for those of you who aren't aware, but assuming based on the fact that this is a Midori Magica stream, I probably don't need to explain this, but assuming someone in the chat isn't aware, Midori Magica is a collaborative fanfiction project for the anime Madoka Magica. It's written by myself, Petals, and Ned, and we have all been working on this project for, I want to say, like, has it been 4 years? 4 or 5 years now?
Yeah, we started in 2017. We're in 2021, man.
Yeah, so
4 years roughly.
4 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Crazy.
and we've been working at it for just we've dedicated so much of our time to this. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. Huge credit to Magia Wrecker. What on earth? I'm dying today.
Magic Quartet.
Yep, Magica Quartet for the inspiration, Puella Magi Madoka Magica, and their anime and manga series that we 100% take from. Their character is Kyubey, they own Kyubey, we own our characters, but of course the universe belongs to them. So always, as always, credit to them. Why are we streaming today? Well, I'm glad you didn't ask. We have completed a book called Web of Lies, and we just want to talk about it and brag about how good it is and just
Not we, Petals. Petals did this all by herself.
Aww, but it's like the Midori Magica team. I'm so used
I know,
to
but
saying we.
Petals was the one who wrote it. Petals owns all the characters in it.
Yeah.
So
All 200 pages.
Yay!
Yay! I will give an apology for having to change the date so suddenly. Something came up, family matter. But I want to thank you all for being patient, being okay with this, and just coming on and supporting us, even though we had a last minute change of time and date. So thank you all so much, and my greatest apologies.
Oh my gosh. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if I could avoid it, I would have. But
Someone in chat saying it's 9 a.m. where I live, and I've been reading Web of Lies for 12 hours straight, and I haven't slept at all. Send help.
oh my goodness! Maybe sleep? Gosh, you're sounding like me working on the stream, or working on the trailer. Goodness. Oh, people are being sweet about the layout of the setup of the stream. Oh, thank you so much. It's the same as before, but recolored. As always,
Remember, kids, recoloring is bad unless it's your own content to begin with.
or if it's your best friends and you like abusing your best friend. Warning about my computer. it has a tendency to overheat. If I try to play Minecraft, it will turn off. So we don't know if the stream will kill it, but we give the warning anyways. So in the case that the stream does go down, I have a computer right beside me. I will try to boot it up as fast as I can. If we aren't up fast enough, I'll put an update in the channel letting you guys know what happened, and we'll still be releasing the stuff that we're going to talk about on the stream elsewhere. So we have backup plans if bad things happen. Hopefully it shouldn't, though.
But we've done 2 streams before, so...
Yeah, we've had no problems so far. Knock on wood. Last thing, totally last thing. Between when we talk and you hear us, there's about 10 to 20 seconds of delay. So if you post a question in the chat, it's gonna take at least 20 seconds for us to read it and talk to you.
Yeah.
So just be patient. We will be getting to questions. We have a Q&A segment. So if your question isn't answered, feel free to pop it in the chat. We'll hold on to it and do it then. Would you like to take the last part?
Yeah, so it's about 7 p.m. where I live. That's about Ekho's dinner time. So my mom is making dinner in the kitchen. I will be eating on stream. I will try to keep quiet about it. But if you hear spoon hitting the side of bowl noises or chewing noises or just general dinner sounds, that's why.
Ekho dinner ASMR. Yay!
No.
Immediately. No. All right. Are we ready then?
Yes, I believe so.
All right. Just a fair warning. The slides are chaotic. You're welcome. All right. So first and foremost, I really wanted to talk about Charlotte's design because I've gotten a handful of questions on how do you design your characters, how do you decide what they will be based on their wishes and stuff. I started designing Charlotte directly after completing writing Foresight. So back in like 2018. And it was ridiculous. I had this idea in my head of what I wanted, and I wanted this sassy, rich girl who had like a little bit of an accent of some sort. And I wasn't really certain what I wanted, but I wanted her to be blonde. I wanted her theme to be pink. And I wanted it to come across like I'm better than you. Other than that, I didn't really have much to go off of. So my first thought for some reason was vintage clothing. And I got this idea of like Mary Poppins. So I put her hair in a bun. I gave her vintage clothing. I gave her an umbrella. And I was like, yeah, this is fantastic. Mwah, this is it. Fun fact, a reason why she is pink. For those who did not know, I don't even know if Ekho knows this. But the reason, do you know why we chose the color pink for Charlotte?
I don't believe so.
We wanted her presence to provoke Midori specifically as much as possible, and Mally's color was pink. So we specifically chose pink because Mally. Fun fact.
Wow.
Other than that, I had no idea what I wanted. So I got in this rhythm of thinking, okay, well, mature is a bun, so she's gonna have bun hair. That's just what it is. And I locked myself into this awful box of you can only have a character with a bun. It has to be a bun. She has to wear buns because she is a bun. And so that's these designs here. Moving forward, I started thinking a little more outside the box. This is where I started slightly lightening up, but I still had this idea her hair needed to be up. And I think that was the big part locking me out of figuring out her design. I just had this concept she has to have her hair up. But around this time I started messing with the idea of webs instead of vintage. I started going back and forth. I was like webs, vintage, and I kept going back and forth. And it wasn't until this one on the left that I was like, okay, I kind of like webs. Webs kind of work. Moving forward, here's the more web designs of Charlotte when I was getting closer to her official design. It just, and these aren't all of them. These are not all of them or anywhere close. These are just the ones I could find right off the top of my head in my notebooks and stuff. But I just wanted to show you that it's okay if you make a design and then say, nope, that's not quite it. It's okay to take a second minute and revamp until you're happy. But what I don't recommend is doing that forever. There's going to be a point where you've got to say, okay, I'm happy enough. And I think that's what I did when I started simplifying. A lot of these designs are so complex with so many webs. I am very thankful to myself for not going with these designs. Look at how many webs. Imagine animating. Oh my goodness. Why was I trying to kill myself?
I will say I do love the one in the center.
Yes. That one in particular, I started leaning towards an empress design.
Yeah.
I wanted a ruler because I thought that really suited her. I'm glad, thank you.
I can see that's where the hairpiece came from, too.
Yep, that's where I got the hairpiece, which is based off of the idea of a veil. So, yeah, so those are just some terrible ideas. I definitely like how she came out.
Yeah.
These designs were a little lacking. So I think that's all for the designs here. I'm gonna skip forward. Oh no, okay, there's a little more. So I did actually start designing Tabitha back in 2018. And originally she was going to be a very southern, red-headed girl. And I was deciding between the three names, Timber, Kimberly, and Tabitha. But then I had this idea to diversify my characters. And I am so happy, and I will never go back. Tabby is best girl. Fight me. I'm very happy with how she turned out. Here on the right, you can see how Kate was originally. I don't have a picture of her first design. It was very masculine. I do remember that. She had these very digital-looking clothings, and she had like these really cool like Tron glasses. But as techy as that was, it didn't suit her wish. So I'm very happy that I said, you know what, I'm going to go camera route and try again. Mm-hmm. Once I had that mindset, once I thought outside the box instead of limiting myself, I got Kate's design first try. Tabby's design I got first try as well.
I remember seeing Kate's design for the first time. It's definitely one of the coolest in my opinion.
Thank you. I do love her tie.
Gotta love getting characters' designs right first try, because it's not like me over here gets them right almost every time on the first try.
Ekho bragging over there. I see you.
Oh man, I'm dying.
Don't die.
I'm dying on stream, guys. It's quality content.
Quality content. Everybody, quick, quote it. Drink some water. Drink some water. I just drank some water, and the water bottle just splashed in my eye. So my eyeball drank some water, too. Can you still hear me?
Yes, hang on, my mom's talking.
Oh, okay. You're good. All right, that's fine. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move along. I think that's all for this one. Fun fact, I will say...
Sorry, I'm back.
You're good, you're good. I will say for this particular picture on the right... it was drawn with the context of, I imagined this would be the scene where Charlotte and Kate actually, like, became, like, you know, the scene where Charlotte gets witch-kissed and then is like, who is your designer? that was this picture. Alright, I'm gonna move along. Yes! This, for those who don't know and aren't on Scratch, I did a map part for a song called Miss Y by Marina and the Diamonds, I believe.
Yep.
It was a spur of the moment. I had just finished writing a particular scene from the book, chapter 25.
I'm sorry, 1 second. Someone in the chat just said that's what you get for killing off your characters, Ekho.
You get to choke on water.
Yeah. Oh, I'm dying. Hang on, I'll be right back.
Okie dokie. So, some people were theorizing, because I released this map part before I released Web of Lies, so this gave a little bit of taste of what's to come for Web of Lies. But I thought, since you have read the story, I might as well explain it so you can fully understand. So, the running one, the very first frame, the running of Charlotte running. How many times can I say running? Drink every single time I say running. It was meant to be in the end of chapter 26, where she sets the hotel on fire, pulls the fire alarm, hops over the fence, and dashes into the night. For those of you on Scratch, you did not get the fact that she set the room on fire. I'm so sorry. There was a lot of content removed for you guys. But I imagine this is her running before she runs into Runa. Then she's kind of flashing back, so I jump back a scene. This is where Reagan's about to turn into a witch, and Mimi's like, "Why are you yelling at me, you terrible person?"
Hi, I'm back.
Welcome back. I was very, 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 very specific about the transition from the Mimi and Reagan to Charlotte here, because after the two of them blur out of their lives, after they die, is when Charlotte makes her wish. So it's because of their deaths and them blurring out that her wish is here. So I very specifically chose her to appear on the screen in magical form at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Huzzah! The crying, of course, reflects to all of her regret. Yeah, sucks to be Charlotte. If you couldn't guess by the smile and the tears on Tabby's face, this is Tabby's death scene. This one with Kate, I had imagined this is her waking up to the slamming window right before she dies. So both of these pictures are right before they die. Die in quotations. And then finally, the one that everybody's been like, I don't get it. Please explain. Click next. This is a reference to Charlotte falling. So if we go back, this is right before she dies. This is right before she dies. This is right before she dies. This is a reference to her being sunk underwater and drowning and becoming Una Lead, which is her witch in revolt. So, just thought I'd let you know that's why I did that. Somebody asked in the chat, wait, what fire? Yes, the Scratch version of Web of Lies, a lot of content had to be taken out as the warning when you open the project. One thing that happens right after Kate's gem is smashed in by Lilith, Charlotte kills the girl on the floor, sets the room on fire with a match, and leaves. So, no evidence! No witnesses! She does what she has to. So I think that's the end of the Miss Y map part.
Yeah.
Oh, hey! It's this piece. Ah, would you look at that? Huh. How interesting. The antagonists are back. Couldn't mean anything important.
Nope.
All I'm saying is a lot of people were theorizing which line with the runes goes with which character. Now that you know Charlotte's end of the story, has your opinion of which runes go with her changed? I think it's worth revisiting. Wink.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, next one. Blank screen. Why is it a blank screen? Okay. Oh, that's why. Ekho!
Yay! So, I drew this for Petals for Christmas last year. You guys have probably seen it. Um, yeah, lovely, happy little drawing of the Three Musketeers.
So happy. Would you like me to hit next?
Yep.
There's a second version.
Yep, there is. And this was not released because it, of course, obviously contains major spoilers for all three of the Musketeers' deaths. As I was working on this, it was really fun figuring out the second version, but oh gosh, loud dishes in the kitchen. I'll kind of cup my hand over the mic a little bit.
Oh, we can hear you
But,
fine.
okay, no, I'm cupping my hand over to see if I can block the sound of the kitchen noise.
Gotcha.
But so you can see Kate got shattered, Tabby got cracked, and Charlotte turned into a witch. So,
What did the runes say, Ekho?
oh yeah, the runes say all for one and one for all, because the Three Musketeers motto is all for one for all in the original story of the like not the Midori Magica Three Musketeers, like the actual Three Musketeers. So fun.
Their color palettes go so well together.
Yeah, I took their Soul Gem colors.
It goes so well together.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And you finally get to post that.
Yay, I finally get to post that one. I
I'm
cry.
ready to put it up on DeviantArt myself.
Please.
It's okay.
It's so pretty.
It's old, but you can't tell because there's no faces.
I love the smile. The two smiles and the frown.
Yeah.
Is that a tear too?
Yep.
Aww. I love them. I love them.
Kitchen noises ASMR. We are not doing ASMR this stream. Okay, chat.
This is no ASMR stream. We'll bring that back for revival. No, I'm kidding. Oh my goodness. Alright, we ready?
Yep.
Alright, next. Ah, yes! Another one.
Yee. Old art from 2020. I drew this pretty much directly after Art Fight 2020 ended as a way to like get my drawing motivation back. But it was also shortly after Petals had first done Kate's design. And I saw the design and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to draw Kate. So I drew Kate. And I kind of did this to represent like her wish with the photograph.
Yep.
She's kind of trapped inside of a frame and doing the little picture frame thing over her face.
The finger picture gun thing.
Yeah, I need to attempt that pose again because that one arm is way too long.
I love it though. And the chakram in the background.
Oh yeah, I did the chakra in the back.
It's so cool.
Yay, thank you. I'm glad you still like it.
I still love it. You even got the bags under her eyes, which is the most important part of her design.
Yeah, and with my style it's hard to get the bags because I don't exactly have an under eye line.
Yeah, it's hard to do like the bags under the eyes because I sometimes forget they're there. But it's important. It's very important.
Gotta get those eye bags.
Heck yeah. You ready?
Yep.
Ah, yes, we are officially into the analysis section of our stream, which you can see on the agenda to the side of you.
Which will contain a lot of Petals talking.
Yay! First of all, I love this art piece. I love Tabby. I love Tabby. Tabby. Tabby's best girl. Also, there's a terrible transition on all these slides, and it's making me so mad. So I wanted to do a little bit of analysis because some people were a bit confused about the characters and other things and where their design, like where their personality came from and all that. So I wanted to talk a little bit about each character and give their perspectives on things. So this is Tabitha Hill, also known as Tabby, or as she tells Reagan, Tab. She is a total goofball, and all that she really, really wants to do is make people laugh. She is all about cheering people up, making them happy, making them feel comfortable, making them feel welcome, and she is incredibly good socially. She can read you like a book. Not that she's ever read a book. She's not very good educationally because she puts a lot of her efforts towards people. And it's quite impressive because there's a lot of things she does that I don't think I'd ever be able to do. where does her personality come from? She's 100% me. She is like a lot of me. I love her so much.
Can confirm Tabby is basically the Petals incarnate of Midori Magica.
I just smacked my face into the desk. Yes. If I were to, as Ekho said, if I were to say that any of the magical girls were closest to me, Tabby 100%. I love her so much. So moving on to a little bit about her motives and her perspective on things. She, as I said before, she's incredibly motivated by helping people, by being there for others, specifically Kate. So if she has an opportunity to protect people or help people, it doesn't matter what the sacrifice is, she's going to help those people. And she's quick to throw herself under the bus, even for these people. She's really selfless. She's super kind-hearted. She's just a wonderful person all the way around. It's absolutely amazing. I love her so much.
I love Tabby.
I love Tabby. She's also really good with Kate, particularly, which we'll get to in a minute, because Kate's very closed off and introverted, whereas Tabby is 100% extroverted, but she can read Kate, and she knows Kate's limits. As you'll see throughout the story, she does not cross boundaries. No matter how bubbly or curious she is, she knows your limits, and she does not push them. So she is just really sweet. I love her. So her wish, of course, was for all the knowledge in the world, and a lot of people were very confused as to what on earth is her power. So, because even she has a hard time explaining it, which makes sense because it's hard for her to explain something that's overwhelming. So her wish was for all the knowledge in the world, and that means her power is to access any piece of knowledge at any time that she wants. I kind of imagine it like when she closes her eyes or when her eyes go glowing, everything becomes this giant library to her. And she's able to pick up any book, anything she wants. She can Google search anything, and she has all the knowledge in the world. But the key word here that a lot of people are missing is knowledge. This does not mean she knows all the answers to the world. This does not mean she knows things that are not known. It means she is able to take collectively all the knowledge in all of the world at the moment from all of the people, and she can scan through it. So, in other words, getting future stuff isn't very easy. She can collect knowledge information, like, here's a good example. So when Reagan and Mimi were going to meet with Tabby, Kate, and Charlotte the next day, Tabby said, I'm gonna look up if they even plan to come. Charlotte's like, you can tell the future? It's not really that. It's more or less, she can pull up the knowledge in Mimi and Reagan's head and see, do they plan to come? So she can pull up knowledge.
Someone in the chat says she can find out what's in Area 51.
She could. If there are people in Area 51, she can use their knowledge against them. That's exactly right. She has all the knowledge. That does not mean all the information. It means all the knowledge. This is also important when the witch, she can't read the runes. How did she get the knowledge for where the witch was and where is it heading? Well, simple. Gozo created the witch. She had Gozo's knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
How fast is it coming? Where's it going? Reki had that answer. That's why some of the information was blurry. Some of the information was fuzzy. And the same goes for her final quote-unquote prediction of Charlotte's death. She's using all the knowledge she possibly can. She's using all the predictability and all of these models that she could possibly come up with to mathematically figure out and try to guess what's going to happen next based on all the knowledge in the world. It's not technically perfect. She could have been wrong. But it lined up exactly how she said. So She does not have future predicting abilities. She is not having all the information. She has all the knowledge. That is a very important part of her. So, thought I'd clear that up.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Kate. I love her so much. She is lazy girl.
Definitely the most relatable for me.
Yeah, a lot of people on our servers will say like, I kin Kate. We all agree. I would say that Tabby is like 90% me, Kate is like 5% me, and then Charlotte is 5% me. Like the three of them together make up me, which is how I kind of created them. Yeah. I wanted a polar opposite of Tabby. I wanted something very different than something I had done before, and I wanted a very lazy, tired, anime girl. So Kate's wish was, of course, to remove the inappropriate picture that Charlotte took. If you're reading on Scratch, I'm so sorry. You don't really know what the picture was. Just bear with us. So what you find out later, of course, is the picture was already gone. Charlotte didn't want to be caught with that. It would ruin her reputation. If she was caught with that, that's illegal. She could literally go to juvie or something. She could go somewhere. Her reputation would be done. So of course she didn't. The moment she took the picture, she deleted it. But Kate didn't know that. So Kate's wish was completely and utterly pointless, which really sucks, which is why they lied to Kate and never tell her. Kate's power. She has the ability to have technological perspectives and viewpoints. So any cameras, any satellites, anything at all, she can use those to see. The great thing about it is it bypasses other things. So like things that aren't real or things that are magical, she can like see them as if it were not there. So that's what helps her with the invisible girl, is she's able to use the camera to spot the invisible girl. So thought that was pretty cool. People were asking about her tie and if it possesses magical abilities since she stores things in the ties. I basically used the premises, spoilers for Madoka Magica, not really spoilers, but a mechanic spoiler, I guess. So mute yourself for 5 seconds, or 10 seconds if this bothers you. I used the premises of Homura's shield. And also Mommy's able to make a bat. Like, there's some flexibility with the magic that seems to be able to store or create things out of nothingness. I'd also use Mommy's ribbons. Doesn't she have healing abilities? Is her ribbon her ability? What is ribbons? Okay, sorry, just me ranting. So I use the premises that Mommy's able to create the bat, and as I said before, the shield. You know, that you can use magic in alternative ways. It's just not your most powerful strength, and it does waste magic. So you might as well not do it as much as you need to. So just do it enough to get by. So that's my reasoning for how Kate's tie kind of works. Sorry if you don't agree. All right, we are on to Miss Height and Tight herself, Charlotte. Charlie, Charlotte, however you want to call her.
While you talk about Charlotte, I will be right back. I gotta take care of something.
Sounds good. So, people were wondering where I got the idea for Charlotte. When we first finished Foresight, Ned wanted to write Revolt immediately. And I said, look, I want to take the and tag this time. Let me step away for a month, and then I'll come back to you. And I wanted something I had never done before. I wanted a character I had never written before. I wanted something very different. So I wanted a professional, intelligent, popular, blonde, rich girl. That's all the criteria I knew that I wanted. As I described before in the design, I had these ideas of what I wanted her to be, and I wasn't really I was really boxing myself in. But as I started writing Web of Lies, she slowly developed into something way more complex, which I hope you guys found a heart for her, because I know a lot of people after reading Revolt hated her with a burning passion, like really hated her. So I hope you guys ended up liking her in the end, because I put a lot of time and thought into her. She gets a lot of her professionalism and intelligence not from me. I'm not super intelligent, but a lot of the drives that she has motivate me. So like the drive for perfection, wanting to reach those perfection limits, wanting to come across professional, wanting to seem mature. Those types of things a lot come from me. So I really hope you guys like her. I wanted to talk for a moment about her perspective as of chapter 25. When she goes into everything, a lot of people were very confused as to why she does what she does in Revolt. Why on earth would she ever hurt RaeNae? Why? Well, look from her perspective now that you read the book. One of the biggest things with her is don't kill anyone because Kate said not to. Follow the revolution's rules. I am here for my friendship with Kate and Tabby, and I will continue to be here for my friendship with Kate and Tabby. And one of the things that a lot of people miss is, I guess I'll get to that in a moment. I'm just letting my thoughts go out there. Don't worry about me, guys. At the point she gets to chapter 25, before the entire incident happens and Tabby dies, she's already dealt with hundreds of magical girls outside of the border. She knows what it's like. She knows how awful these girls can be. She knows. She's dealt with girls with memory magic. She dealt with girls with teleportation. She's dealt with all sorts of girls and all sorts of abilities. She's dealt with hostile girls. She's dealt with sad girls who turn into witches. You know, like, she's done and seen it all. Yet, she still tries not to kill anyone. When she goes into chapter 25, they lose Tabby. Not only that, it's because Kate gave mercy to someone. Because they were merciful, Tabby died. Okay? Keep in mind, when Charlotte takes out both Lilith, the girl with red shoes, and Everly, the girl with glassy blue slippers, Charlotte does not kill them. How could she? She physically couldn't. Lilith has the ability to instantly disintegrate or incinerate whatever she touches. So if you get close enough to her, she can immediately kill you. You just, bam, you're gone. You are gone. You know? I made a little noise there. Just. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I'm so sorry. But the other girl, Everly, with her crossbow, it can pass through anything. So when Charlotte tried to shield with her umbrella, it immediately went through and hit her cheek. Welcome back.
Thank you.
In order to stop them, she had to turn them human. Because another chance and they'd immediately disintegrate her. She didn't have a shot. So she turned them both human and is incredibly weak. Keep in mind her condition when she turns RaeNae human. She's incredibly weak and depends on Ritsu to get her grief seeds. Imagine she just did 2. But I guess that goes to show you how much Tabby influences magical stamina. Because of how happy Tabby was attempting to be, Charlotte held on. So, props to Charlotte. But after chapter 25, she gave mercy to Lilith and Everly. And then, chapter 26, they come back and kill Kate, basically. right in front of Charlotte. It just goes to show you at this point, every single time she's given mercy to anyone, her friends die. You guys ever seen the musical Wicked? The song No Good Deed? Yeah, that's Charlotte. So, from her perspective, it's actually crazy that she didn't kill RaeNae. Because she should have. If I were in her position and I wanted to save Kate, it's very impressive that she did not kill RaeNae when she had the chance.
By the way, guys in chat, I'm taking note of some questions that you're asking that I may want to pose to Petals during the Q&A section. I won't get them all because I'm writing them down on a very small post-it note. But like for those of you asking questions, and you know, and if you may think we're glossing over them, but we're not. I will come back to them later.
Yep.
Sorry.
You're good. So, now that you kind of have an idea of Charlotte's perspective on the things that she does, and of course her last line in chapter 26 of, I cannot show weakness no matter what happens. I'm curious to see how many of you who were very, Charlotte's wrong, Charlotte's wrong, Charlotte's wrong, go RaeNae, what side you're on now, or if you're confused, because there's a lot of gray area. So, in the description of this stream, there is a poll. There's 2 polls, but right now I'm curious, which side are you on now? Do you have a side full on, or are you not sure? Is it kind of both ways? You see both sides. You see the defense on both sides. It's kind of hard. Very curious to hear your thoughts. Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments as well. I'd be happy to read them later. As of course, I just wanted to mention, of course, because I mentioned it with the other girls, Charlotte's wish was to be able to turn Kate and Tabby human. Of course, if they agree, because she wouldn't do it against their wishes. And her power is to turn magical girls human. Alright, moving on. My child! Mimi!
We love Mimi.
I love Mimi so much. She is my first full-on disordered character. So I had to do a lot of research on her before I could write her properly, because in no way did I want to accidentally offend anyone. So I do want to take some notes on her. Number 1, just because she has some symptoms doesn't mean that everybody has these symptoms. There's a lot of people who have schizophrenia and experience different types of symptoms to different levels of severity. Her story in particular was very, very inspired off of an interview I did. So I wanted to make sure that people knew that I took it from a source. I know what I'm doing.
But you did a really good job.
Thank you. But I didn't want anyone to think that I was just dismissing it just to use it as a plot device. I wanted to put that in there because I wanted to do some research. I wanted to learn. For those of you who haven't or don't know about this, on Toy House in my library section, or Mimi's library, you can find it either way, there is a story called The Fox and Her Sheep, and it's 3 chapters long, and it gives you a little bit of Mimi's side of what it's like to deal with schizophrenia. She experiences hallucinations, she rocks a lot, she hears a lot of voices and has to handle with ignoring them, as well as noises. It's not just voices. She hears scratching and other terrible things. The poor thing, I love her so much. But she's so strong. She fights through it. I love her. But it really goes to show you that people who have schizophrenia are really tough and they're doing their best, so support them. Yeah! Fist pump in the air.
Whoa.
Yeah. So just wanted to get that out of the way. That is Mimi. Her wish, of course, was to be able to have a little more sunshine in her life and have some control over the symptoms, because it was just getting far too much for her. But of course, she struggles a lot with derealization, knowing what's real and what's not. And that's why in the end she accidentally snaps her own soul gem, not realizing what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
So, that's Mimi. I love her to death. Her
Power.
her power is to spawn and command powerful hallucinations that can hurt you. They are as real as you and me. She can also make you hear auditory hallucinations, so she can make you hear things. I love her. She's so cool. Just saying, art fight's coming up. If you want to attack me with some cool symbolic pictures of her dealing with schizophrenia, just saying. And on to Reagan.
Yay!
My first full-on
As Petals likes to call her, Reggie Bobeggy.
Reggie Bobeggy. I love her. I love her so much. This is Reagan Quarter. Love her. She was designed by Blue Star Moonstone, or Honeybun Love on Toy House, or as we like to call her.
Blue Star Moonstone is in the chat right now, guys.
Yo, Mal! What's up? Reagan, I love her. I actually claimed her design. Mal was doing on Scratch like this magical March event where every day she was posting a free adopt, and I claimed her, and she was mine. I love this design so much. So if you guys are looking for somebody who's awesome at designing magical girls, or if you want to go check out some, yeah, just saying, you've got a magical girl expertise in the chat, just saying, throwing it out there. So, Reagan is much more difficult. She's very tsundere, very uptight and overprotective, which makes it very interesting with her pairing with Mimi. If you read The Fox and Her Sheep, you'll quickly realize that their relationship is kind of like a sister going on. Reagan is Mimi's tutor, and she knows all of Mimi's special needs and everything that she needs to go through in order to be a good tutor to her. And Reagan slowly becomes this older sister figure and starts taking Mimi under her wing. So she gets very overprotective. She knows that people can use schizophrenia against Mimi and can use her mind against her. So Reagan gets overprotective and doesn't want people to know about her disorder because she doesn't want them to use it against her. She doesn't want them to think, oh, just because she has this, she's disabled. Which isn't necessarily the right mindset to have. I don't know what you should have, but I'm not certain hiding it is necessarily the best thought process either. So, but I'm not a doctor. I'm not gonna pretend I know. I'm not gonna, nuh-uh. But Reagan is very overprotective, and she's a good little lookout for Mimi. Her wish, her mother owns a rescue, and they brought in a fox who wasn't going to survive, and she wished for the fox to survive. Because of that, she has incredible speeds and a little bit of enhanced senses, like hearing and smelling, but mainly her speed. However, her mom starts getting credit for her wish, like, oh wow, you saved this animal and nobody thought it would live. Wow, that's impressive. So Reagan starts getting a little thrown out to the side, and then her father's a pastor and found work in Washington, and so they were going to be moving. And so Reagan was feeling a lot of being dissed and unneeded and unwanted, and she started regretting her wish. If you don't know in Madoka Magica, if you regret your wish, you lose your power.
Yep.
This is hinted at. Tabby says that Reagan was being uncooperative and wasn't using her ability. It's because Reagan couldn't.
And for another example of this, in Deceit, spoilers for Deceit if you haven't read it yet, but I assume most of you have, during the, after the whole Matilda stuff went down, and Haruka and Ritsu went to fight the serpent witch with the butterfly wings, there's a moment where we describe that Haruka is no longer able to generate her dough.
Yep.
Because she regrets making the wish for the restaurant. And just, yeah.
Yep.
She regrets it.
And this only adds more to Reagan's story. Because she feels dissed because she wasn't given credit. She feels dissed because her parents don't care and they're moving. And then she feels dissed because she can't help.
Yep.
Tabby's given orders and she can't follow through. Not because she doesn't want to, but because she can't. And so all of this is building up, and instead of talking to people, she thinks she can handle it on her own. But if you've got a soul gem, it's a little different than a normal person. If you start bottling it up, it doesn't just go away. It turns your gem dark. It slowly gets worse. And the moment it gets too far to go back, no matter how hard you try, you can't hold it in anymore. It's all of a sudden out there. It's all of a sudden you're going to be screaming, you're going to be yelling, you're going to be crying. Your emotions are out there, and there's nothing you can do to overpower it. And Reagan experiences that.
Yep.
Poor Reggie.
Quick thing before we move on, someone in the chat, Violet K214 says, "Hi, I'm actually very close to someone who has schizophrenia. Is that alright if I give a perspective on that?"
Absolutely.
Probably not a good idea to do it on stream, though.
True.
If you're in the server, you can do it there.
Yeah, and
Just
I know
make
they
sure
are.
to put some kind of, I guess you would need some kind of warning on it, wouldn't you? Spoiler tag it, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. That would be awesome, actually. I did want to say, it is, blah, 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 blah. I can't speak. Somebody help me. You are more than free to give a perspective. Somebody recently commented on our foresight on Wattpad saying that they are blind and they wanted to give a perspective on that. We are always happy to hear critiques and feedback and stuff like that. I do want to note, as I said before though, I did do an interview with somebody who has schizophrenia and the family. It's actually a family member of mine. So I won't go into detail, but I did do my research.
The other thing I will say too is you can give as many perspectives as you want, but we can't change what's written.
Yeah.
So
we're happy to hear it. You are free to give. We love hearing the other perspectives of what it's like. We definitely want to spread awareness as well. So if you've got a story to share, please do. Just make sure that people are aware of the content before sharing, so that you don't trigger anybody. But yeah, we'd love to hear. Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't want to sound like I was dissing anyone. I'm sorry.
No, you didn't sound like you were.
Okay, good. So yeah, VCats we'd love to hear. All right. I think that's it for Reggie.
Yeah.
All right, so we will move on. I
love these two.
I love these two too and hate them at the same time. It's this love-hate relationship. So, for those of you who have been wondering, a little bit about the red-shoed girl with the disintegrating abilities who can touch things and they immediately go bye-bye, and the blue-slippered girl who can shoot through things. Here they are. On your left, you have Lilith. On your right, you have Everly. Lilith on the left is designed by our dear friend Ekho. And
Thank.
and on the right, we have Everly, who's designed by Blue Star Moonstone on Scratch, who's also in the chat, or Honeybun Love on Toy House, or Mal, as we call her. So.
Or also Reagan's designer.
Reagan's designer!
Reagan and
Shout out!
Everly's designer.
Would you like to talk a little bit about the design?
Yeah, sure. So Lilith was actually part of a design, my side of a design trade that I did with Petals a while back. Not too long ago. It was maybe a month or so ago, I think.
When I decided I needed a deadly girl.
Yeah, it was funny because originally you didn't know what you wanted for your side of the trade.
I didn't.
But as you were reading that chapter to me that had I can't talk. As you were reading me the chapter that the big fight took place, and where Tabby dies, I was like really into this like girl with the disintegrative abilities and the grappling hook. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so cool. That's such a nice ability. And then when we got to the end, Petals, I think you mentioned possibly getting designs for some of them, and I was like, can I design the girl with the disintegrative ability? So that's Lilith.
Literally all she had to go on was, I need a girl with a grappling hook and red shoes.
Yeah, the descriptions of the fangs and the horns and the tail, those slight descriptions that you got that gave nods to it actually being Lilith, were added after her design was made.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now we have Everly. It's so pretty. I'm just gonna stare. Fun fact, all that Blue Star Moonstone was given was I said, hi, I need a magical girl with blue glass slippers. Maybe Cinderella-ish, I don't know. Something like that. Yeah, she has a dull expression, maybe. Yeah, okay. And
she needs a crossbow.
Yeah, and she needs a crossbow. Okay, yep. Go wild. That's like all I gave. I mentioned a hood as well, and she just comes back with this glorious, absolutely stunning design, and I'm just like, it's so pretty. What's it? It's so detailed.
Side note, I see people talking about Lucy and Yuki. They do not have designs. Sorry.
Huh? Sorry, could you repeat that? Sorry.
People were talking in the chat about Lucy and Yuki. They do not have designs. Sorry,
yes.
They will not be revealed on the stream. They
do not have designs. I hated them too much. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So I did want to mention the hood. It's so pretty. It's so pretty, but unfortunately I can't use it. In the story of the characters have a very plain hood, so you can't tell which one's which. It's supposed to throw off Charlotte. But Mal, hey Mal, I really love this design. Can I use it? Can we talk afterwards? Can I use it for something else? Because it's so pretty.
Just the hood.
Just the hood. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. Gosh. Mal, you're so good at designing. And it's a hood. How did you make a hood so pretty? Okay. Yes. Alright, I think I'm content talking about them. How about you?
Do you want to mention just go into a little bit more detail about their powers? I do have a few questions regarding Lilith in the chat, if you don't mind me reading them off.
Sure, let me mention first, people were curious a little bit about their story.
Yeah.
I could go ahead and answer that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So they are from the border, which means that they're on the outside of the revolution. In that area, as you've probably seen from, I believe, the chapter The Outside from Midori Magica Revolt, magical girls are spawning at incredible paces. Like, Kyubey is like, I don't have anything on the West Coast. I have no magical girls over there, so I need to make up over here for what I don't have over there. And so he does what he can. He makes as many magical girls as possible. And
also, sorry for the interruption again. Mel says to DM her after the stream about the hood.
Got it.
Okay, right. Go ahead.
So
talking about the border, yeah.
So the border. So Kyubey also knows that he's helping with this grief seed that Gozo's making, of course, and he knows that he's going to have an opportunity to meet with the heads of the revolution, because he knows that those three are going to want to come investigate. This is his opportunity to kill him off, and he takes it. He gathers a group of magical girls and warns them about the head of the revolution and why the witches in this area why there's not enough witches to go around. Wanna fix? Oh, I know how. Simple. Go take out the heads of the revolution. He doesn't say it like that, of course, because he's Kyubey and he's manipulative. Anyways, so he gathers these seven girls, and only two of them get to show up in more than one scene, therefore only two of them get designs. Everly and Lilith. I like to think their relationship is Everly is mute and obedient and just kind of goes along with whatever happens. And then Lilith, on the other hand, is just this manipulative devil.
Hence the design.
Hence the design. She just wants to cause chaos. She just wants to take territory. She just wants to have fun. And therefore, she leads the group to take down the Revolution heads. So, yeah. All right. What were the other questions? Were there any other questions?
Yes. Lilith's disintegration ability, can it turn off, or is it like a Midas touch where it's constant?
No, it is whenever she wants to use it. It's like all other Madoka Magica abilities that we use in our story. Whenever she wants to use it, it ignites. Otherwise, she'd be constantly using so much magic.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
And what is her wish?
That's a great question. Do you remember what we agreed on?
Yep.
Would you like to announce it?
Her wish, we have the general basis. It's not crazy detailed or crazy fleshed out, but her wish was to kill someone.
Yep. She wanted someone dead.
Hence the X's on her design for like negating something. Hence the disintegrative ability for negating something.
Yep. Very destructive.
The one thing I also want to say is this was completely unintentional, but notice where her soul gem is?
Ha, 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 ha.
Remember how she dies in the book?
Charlotte kind of... her neck.
X marks the spot, baby.
X marks the spot! Yep. So... any other questions?
Nope, those are the two.
Alright, cool. Then we will move along.
Yep.
So, there is a poll there's one more poll in the description for those of you who want to take it. I'm very curious who ended up being the favorite of Web of Lies. So it is just a who's your favorite character to see who ended up being the all-time favorite. Just curious. All right, next section. We are finally on to the Q&A section. Yay!
Someone in chat, sorry, says, who did she want dead? We haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah, think of them as just you needed those characters to appear and therefore you made them happen. It didn't matter what they wished for. It didn't matter who they were. It didn't matter their personalities. All that mattered was they're there now. They aren't as relevant to the story as Kate, Tabby, and Charlotte. Think of it this way. Charlotte is a side story for Revolt. Web of Lies is a side story for Revolt. I'm not going to write a side story for a side story. Come on, guys. I've got better things to be doing.
All right, ready for the questions?
I'm ready for the questions.
So I will be the interviewer holding my microphone here.
Heck yeah.
First question. What happened to Kate, Tabby, and Charlotte at school after becoming magical? What happened to Kate's friends and Charlotte's one quote-unquote friend? I assume you're talking about Elise.
Is this from the chat?
No, from the Q&A. From the slide.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay. Sorry. I'm just an idiot. Don't worry about me. So what I like to imagine happened is when Kate started sitting with Charlotte, her friends started kind of having a conflict a little bit. I mean, their buddy Jack wanted nothing to do with Charlotte, and now Kate's sitting with Charlotte, and she's the pretty girl. She's the cheerleader.
Wait, go. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I saw the stream slide change, and I was like, wait.
No. I was checking something.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So Charlotte's this league ahead of the boys, and the boys are like, we don't want nothing to do with her. She makes people leave school. I don't want to die. I'm too young to die. So there's a little bit of drama going on there. Jason still cares about her. Also, quick side note, people were wondering if Tabby and Tabby's brother was Jason. No, it's Jaden. They're similar names unintentionally. It just was the first name I came up with. They are two different people. Just saying. So they just kind of split apart. You know how, like, when you're kind of like, I'll text them tomorrow. I'll talk to them tomorrow. I'll text to them tomorrow. And then you just never do.
Yeah.
That was kind of like Kate with Jason. They bumped into each other in the hall every now and then, I imagine. But I feel like Kate is like, my life's a magical girl now. I can't be around you. Sorry, I don't want you to die too. So, they slowly drifted. I like to think that Jason is sad and lonely and likes to think about Kate. I like to think that he wanted her. Quise. And Charlotte's one friend, Elise, we hope bad things happen to her. More or less, what I imagine happened is in the school, because she was the first one dissed by Charlotte, and on top of it, she's incredibly rude to everyone. I imagine the other girls at the table don't even like her. I imagine that Charlotte's reputation as the perfect girl, yeah, she's still got the grades, yeah, she's still got the beauty and the athletic skill in her cheerleading, but now she sits with not so popular girls. It's no longer this team or posse, ha 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 ha, I hate all of you in the chat. It's no longer this girl posse friend group. It's just three girls hanging out. It's now casual. It's no longer the scary people who sit at that table, walk around them at all costs. It's just three girls laughing at a table. Mm-hmm. So I imagine that Elise, who is this mean butthead, is kind of dissed to the side because no one wants to be around them.
Yeah.
All right.
Next question?
Yeah.
Let's see. Why didn't Charlotte turn Tabby back to human when she was on the brink of death?
There is a great reason for this. There's a few reasons, actually. Number one, Charlotte will not do it without permission. Okay? That is very important. There are many times where Charlotte offers to Kate and wants to turn Kate back, but she doesn't. Because Kate doesn't give her permission. So number one, she doesn't have permission. Number two, her mind is in a state of panic. I don't know if any of you have been in a place where your friend is dying, but I have, and your brain does not work right. Mm-hmm. It is like thinking all of the processes, everything's going by, like smacking you in the head. Later you think back and you're like, what was I thinking? But the big main reason for why she doesn't, the number one reason for why Miss Intelligent doesn't turn Tabby human, is because she couldn't. Think of it this way. When Runa was turned human, Charlotte was knocked out, man. She depended on Ritsu to go get her grief seeds because she was on the brink of turning into a witch. It takes a lot out of her to turn a magical girl from magical girl to human. Because it's reversing what Kyubei's done. She did too. Mm-hmm. She turned Lilith...
In one fight.
Yeah, in one fight. Not only has she been wasting magic and chaotically fighting, and let me tell you, she took on like 4 girls at the same time. She took down most of them by herself, but she turned 2 of them human, Lilith and Everly. She did not have the energy. So yes, had she turned Tabby human, yes, she would have saved Tabby momentarily. Because Tabby then would be human. There's no Kyubeis nearby, and then Charlotte's going to turn into a witch, and who's going to defeat it? Kate? Weak, saddened, crybaby Kate? Sorry, all you Kate fans. So, she couldn't. She would have saved Tabby, but only for maybe 3 seconds. And then she herself would have killed Tabby. And then killed Kate too. So it would have been a pointless effort. There you go.
Okay, Lilith is the red girl, right? And do the other characters have names and designs?
Nope, they don't, because I don't care about them.
And yes, Lilith is the girl with the red shoes.
Yep.
Let's see. There were some designs that were created after the book was made, like Reagan and Lilith. Did you have to edit the parts of the story which mentioned those characters to fit the descriptions of their new designs?
As we said a moment ago, we already answered this kind of, sort of. Reagan, I won her as I was getting to that part in the story where I needed her. So that just went along as I wrote. But Lilith, we went back and added details of the horns and the fangs.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, next slide.
Is there anything else? I think we got that.
We got it.
Yep. All right, next slide.
Okay. I don't know how to pronounce that username, but do Kate, Charlotte, and Tabby have official sexualities? And what business do Charlotte's parents run?
Both great questions. Tabby is 100% straight. Although she likes flirting with people and being just a bubbly, I don't know the word, just fun little person who likes to get people flustered. She is 100% into guys. There's a part in in one of the chapters, I think it was chapter 19, where she just goes off ranting and listing off guys she thinks are attractive. So she's straight. Kate has no interest in romance. She's definitely ace. She's just not interested whatsoever. And Charlotte's the hard one. Originally, when I first designed her, I was like, oh, she's clearly a lesbian because her main motive is Kate. But then I developed her so much more beyond that. She is so much more than just, I love Kate. It's not even that anymore. There's I like to think now that her relationship with Kate and Tabby has developed into something more than just a romance. It's not a romance. It is this friendship that cannot be torn. It's death do us part. The three of them are side by side until you kill them.
Yep.
And they don't need a romance to be happy there. They are satisfied with what they have. So Charlotte's a little harder because I originally wrote her to be lesbian, but now I can kind of see her being bi. Kind of being interested in whatever makes her a family, so she could be anything. I guess I'll leave her up to interpretation.
Yeah. All right. Miss Avenger asks, how did you come up with Kate's character? Is she lazy or is her energy level low for a reason?
I talked about this before. She is introverted, 100%. This means you go out with people and you lose energy. You recharge energy by being alone. It doesn't necessarily mean that you hate people or you don't want to be around people. It just means you get tired. You get tired. And Kate's kind of in that mindset of, why put myself out there when I've been bullied, when I'm not liked, when I have no interest that the other girls are interested in? Why try to put myself outside of my comfort zone when I'm just going to get shot down? Why not just stay at home?
Yeah.
So that's kind of her.
Next question. Strawberry. I know this is a weird question, but what fandoms are Kate into?
This is fun. So we have fake names for all the manga and anime, of course, she's into. But I thought I'd let you guys know that the original design for her casual skirt was based off the idea that she was a Harry Potter fan and she was into Slytherin. Fun fact, all of my friends are about to hate me because I'm going to admit this. I'm trying to read Harry Potter. I haven't really done it. So Joe McCro's making me do that. I am reading it. I swear. I swear I am, kind of. Don't get mad at me. So
don't worry, I haven't read it either, Petals, so you're good.
So I like to think that she's into Slytherin and Harry Potter. She'd totally be into like Percy Jackson and stuff. Not Twilight. No, she doesn't get romance. She's into anything that kind of appeals to teens with an edgy kind of spin. So any fandom basically. Yeah.
Masking Baby, how did you manage to make all of the high school stuff feel so real?
That is a huge stinking compliment. Thank you so much. I've actually never been to school. I was actually homeschooled all of my life up until college, so I had never stepped in a high school or a middle school or anything. So I actually had no idea what it was like whatsoever. I was basing this off of the neighborhood kids. They used to vent to me and rant about school drama, and so a lot of the things that happen in the story are based off of the drama I used to listen about from all my friends around me. So those were kind of experiences passed through experiences. So that's a huge honor, but more or less it's just picking up on things that I think I know but I don't know, and putting time into drama. Yeah.
Alright, Inky Soda has 2 questions. I'll do them both separately. How do you make such realistic personalities for each girl?
That's another huge compliment. You have to treat them like they're real. You can't just say, oh, this is a shy character, they will be shy. You have to give them goals. You have to give them things that they're trying to work on, things that motivate them, things they're scared of. You have to know these things and keep them in mind as you're writing, because people aren't just one adjective or 2 adjectives or 3 adjectives. They're complex things. There's a reason why we can't robotically make a person.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. So they have to be able to adapt, and they have to have different ways to handle different situations. So my best advice is treat them as if they are a real person, and think about what a real person would do in those situations. But thank you so much for the compliment. That means a lot. I'll go ahead and read the next question that you had. Unless this will be answered in the revival stream or before Q&A portion, what's up with Haruka and Kate? This is a question we actually get a lot. It is answered in the epilogue, but I'm going to go over it anyways because apparently this one's just really complex to handle, and I totally get that because we added this to the universe. The idea came to me on the grounds that in the Madoka Magica universe, Kyubey directly says the words, not exactly these words, but you get the point. Your soul gem is your soul. Your body is just a container. Using that logic, if there's an empty body, who's to say you can't just move your soul into the empty body? Why not? Like, if your body's dead, why not just move over to the next body? Kyubey also says that magical girls can recover from any attack, even if all your blood drips dry. So to me, my interpretation of that is even if your body's gone, your soul gem's still in contact. All you gotta do is find a new body. In this case, Kate, her body gets disintegrated, but because her soul gem was knocked off the back, her soul gem is still in contact. So this means she just needs a new body. So once at the end of the chapter, of chapter 26, Charlotte says something along the lines of, no matter what happens, I can't show weakness. And she pulls up her umbrella and aims it at the next girl to turn the corner. If you read Revolt, I believe it's like chapter 24, you find out that Haruka is the first girl to turn the corner. She aims for the left hand. She shoots it and immediately shatters Haruka's gem. Haruka falls to the floor. Now there's an empty body. All she has to do then is put Kate's soul gem onto the body. Ba-dum ba-da! So now Kate's soul is in Haruka's body. So hopefully that clears this one up. We get this question quite often. We got it all throughout Revolt, and all throughout Deceit, and all throughout Web of Lies. But hopefully that chapter explained it. I'm sorry. Yee. So
Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. I was reading in the chat.
Should I ask the next question then?
We're on to Sombra the Hacker.
Okay. Are Everly and Lilith going to be expanded on?
We already did, but
And which scene was your favorite to write and why?
Chapter 25.
Which was?
Tabby's death.
Yep.
The fight scene. Fun fact, I had no idea how it was going to happen. I got all the way up to that chapter and I sat there and I went, what do I do now? I know I have to kill Tabby, but I don't know how. And so I was just, I started the story. I was just like, oh, they're just driving. Maybe they'll pull over. Maybe they'll run into the girls as they like go to sleep or something. And I was like, how about I just have them crash the car? And then that fight scene broke out. That is my favorite scene. I was tearing up writing Tabby's final words because I was so connected to her. I love that scene so much. It's so emotional, it's so expressive, and it completes Tabby's story and shows her heart. Even at the final moment, she smiles because more than anything, even if her own life is on the line, she wants the people around her to be smiling. I love her. Yeah.
Someone in chat, I have this random headcanon that Kate has a death note and will write the names of people she hates on it.
She's totally a Death Note fan.
Alright, next slide.
Next slide. Alright.
So Mal gave us a lot of questions.
Mal!
I'll read them one at a time.
Alright.
Who was the anime girl that Kate dressed up as?
I decided not to pick a particular one as we are already a fan fiction and I didn't want a fan fiction of a fan fiction inside of a fan fiction.
Does all anime and manga exist at the time other than Madoka Magica?
We like to think that rip-off versions do.
Do the manga and anime have silly names like the restaurants do?
Yes. We have Code Mios, which is a ripoff of Code Geass. And at one point I did have in there some other ripoffs, but I can't remember if I kept them in due to the dates. But yeah, I like to think all of them have ripoff names.
Were the hooded girls sent by Cube?
Yes.
If all the hooded girls have the same hood, does that mean that everyone had the same hood I designed off Everly's main design?
I already answered this. Unfortunately, it's too detailed, and I want them to be only recognizable by their shoes.
Let me zoom into this. Okay. Did the whole world know about magical girls?
No. The Revolution is attempting to. As it says in one of the final chapters, they are trying to spread the word, but there are active groups against them trying to be like, oh no, they're lying. Look, it's Photoshop. Look, it's this. The locals believe them because they see the acts that they're doing in public, but they're trying to get the government involved. The government doesn't want to get involved because do you really want to get involved in this type of mess? They're not really sure what that'll do for their reputation, if people will believe them, especially with elections and things like that. They are concerned. But with more evidence and more proof over the years, they are slowly being taken more seriously. It is referenced in chapter 24, I believe. It's also referenced in Revolt as well, that they have an interview with Mr. Brown, which at the time, I believe, I wrote it in, is the governor of California at the time. They were going to have a very serious interview and hopefully get some government recognition and involvement. But up until that point, the government was staying out, thinking it was just this, let's not get involved. They also didn't know what on earth magical girls really were, so it was kind of this mess. So on the west side of the west coast of the USA, there's some believers and some non-believers, but the East Coast, they're shutting their ears. They won't listen, especially outside of the border. So that's
Also,
how it is.
sorry, Phil.
I was also gonna say, like, have you guys ever seen The Incredibles and how people react to superheroes? Yeah, that.
Someone in the chat. Does that mean Kate is still alive in Haruka's body after Charlotte turns into a witch?
Only until she shatters herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
alive until that very last moment where she walks up and shatters herself.
Next question from Mal. How did Charlotte find the labyrinth? I thought it disappeared when Mally's witch went in.
That's a great question. Reki will answer that for you come chapter 1 of Revival.
My food's here, so expect delays in me talking. Where were we? What were the reactions of the parents to the Revolution girlies being magical girls, specifically the Three Musketeers?
Oh, this is a great one. So I imagine that Charlotte called her parents and they were like, "Oh, that's fantastic. It's wonderful." Oh, somebody also had asked, and I don't think I answered this. They asked, what do Charlotte's parents do for a living?
Yeah.
I didn't answer. I forgot. I'm sorry. Charlotte's dad is the president or CEO. I'm not really certain. I never really decide. It's one of those of a payroll, a multi-million-dollar payroll company. And her mother, as Charlotte puts it in chapter 19 of the Wattpad version of Web of Lies, her mother ironically runs an eco-friendly baby product company. Ironic indeed, because she doesn't care about her own baby. So back to Mal's question. Dies. My brain dies. Okay.
What were the reactions of the parents of the Three
Thank you.
Musketeers?
So, Charlotte probably sent a message or called her mom and dad, and they were like, "That's wonderful, dear," like not caring whatsoever. Yeah, exactly, in the chat. "That's fantastic, Charlotte. Too bad we don't care." That's probably how her parents reacted. Kate's probably sat her down for a moment and wanted to know everything. And then they saw that Kate was actually passionate about something. And seeing that she had never cared about anything ever before, they said, "All right, listen, you know what you're doing. Just be safe. We're supporting you, okay?" Tabby's mom was different. I like to think that when Tabby brings it to her mom is one of those all hands-on kind of mom. She's one of those, "I'm a lookout for my bear cubs. I love my children." She is just one of those dedicated parents who works as hard as she can, and she's just a good mama. So when Tabby comes home and goes, "Hi, I'm a magical girl," Tabby's mom is like, "You what?" "Girl, no, you gonna go get a job." And Tabby's like, "This is my job now." And Tabby's mom is like confused, like, "Let me get this straight. I gave you life and you just sold your soul to a little cat?" Like, Tabby's mom was like, not having it. You getting a spanking. But when Charlotte and Kate kind of came in and said, "No, this is a real deal. There's nothing we can do to undo it." Tabby's mom was like, "Okay, listen. Don't you die. You die and I'm gonna beat your butt. I don't care if it's your dead corpse. I'm gonna beat it." Yeah, so Tabby's mom became very supportive afterwards, but she was still that protective mom of, "Don't you dare go die on me." So that's how they reacted.
Did Kate get turned human at all within the time frame?
Nope. Charlotte tried. Kate said no.
Why is Marley so willing to make new wishes all the time, and why is it only her?
She is not willing. She actually is very upset about it. She does not want to change her wish. But the revolution decided that blowing up some random dude's house was not a very good wish. So they deemed her having to switch her wish.
She's a test dummy.
She is the test dummy. Cause what? Why did she need that wish? I mean, we know the reason, but come on, man.
What are all the wishes Marley had made?
Her first wish was to blow up some dude's house. There is reasoning behind it. Should I get into that? Do we have anybody who asks?
I don't even know what the reason is.
Oh, okay. Am I allowed to say? I'm allowed to say. I'm allowed to say Shay, Mary, and Marley's wishes.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. So Shay was in some sort of accident where there was a lot of destruction. I imagine it was an earthquake, but it was never decided. Where her wish was to rebuild. So
Yeah.
she has this construction ability where she can build something out of nothing. Then Mary, who is this beautiful, sweet young Christian girl, was having issues with a stalker. So Mary was dealing with him following her home, very creepily, she was not safe. She was in a very dangerous situation. So Mary's wish was to restrain him and put him behind bars. So she has the ability to restrain, which she uses on Cubays when they collect Cubays. They have a little...